Hey guys, what's up? Today we are getting prepared for a dream reptile on my list, and we're gonna start by doing some drilling right now. It's a nice day out. We got John running around, or not really running around, but scooting around out there, and we're gonna take a whack at these Cork Rounds right here that I got from the Bio Dude. Some nice long pieces. You'll see how they'll fit in. Now I'm not gonna be doing an unboxing today, guys. That's gonna be the next video, but I'm gonna show you how I'm setting up this enclosure, and you guys could go ahead and guess what it is. Hey guys, how's it going? You know, it's the beginning of a new year. I'll be completely bald. Yellow Aki, Reptile. So I got two 2 feet long pieces of Cork Round, like I introduced you to in the beginning here. And where I marked them right here, these little stickers that I got from my lovely girlfriend's art business, I am going to drill 1-inch holes in. Now, why am I drilling these holes? It's because I'm designing this first enclosure specifically for taming, as recommended, first off, by the breeder who is well known in this area, and I want to follow these instructions kind of to a T and really have this reptile tame as can be. I'm going to try to do clicker training with this reptile. It's going to be an extraordinary thing that's going to be going on, and I'll be taking you guys through every step of the way. But right now, let's go ahead, drill some holes. This way this reptile could be comforted or comfortable while I am feeding. Stick some tongs in there with the food items and then slowly lure it out a little bit. Just give maximum comfort. You'll see the enclosure in a minute, but let's go ahead, let's do some drilling. Cool stuff, guys. We got our holes drilled in the wood. I'm gonna now put them in this enclosure. This is RuPaul's enclosure, just another one. Long story short, but I have multiple of these enclosures now. One without a door that I'm hoping to have by next week when I get the reptile. But let's go ahead, I'll stick the wood in, and then I'll show you up close what it's gonna look like. Got a lot of cuties in here wondering what's going on next door. And what's going on next door is we have some nice Cork Rounds set up in this enclosure. I think this came out really good. It's slanted enough that it's going to definitely give some reprieve to this reptile so they can rest and not have to worry. Because guess what, guys? This bottom inch or two, all water, no substrate, exactly how the breeder said to set it up. You guys will be seeing just that. They are just going to be resting on these logs. Now, this enclosure is a little bit bigger than what I would ideally like. I don't want to go out and spend $250 for something temporary that's a little bit shorter. So this will do just fine. These logs will do just fine. There's enough of a rest. And this goes high enough for a basking spot and UVB basking spot to hit the temps I like, all that jazz. So I think this will do just fine. But let's continue and get some more stuff going on this enclosure. Let there be light. We have our basking bulbs and UVB in here. 2 basking bulbs in the back, UVB here. I was really worried about not being able to hit the temps I need, but it looks like with the wattage bulbs I'm using, 2 80-watt replacements, I'm actually going a little bit over. Let's go. See, you saw that really briefly. Let me see where I'm pointing this thing at. 124, about 124 right now. Probably climb a little bit higher too as it still warms up. So I'm probably gonna drop the left one right there, that baby down to a 60 watt or something, have an 80 watt there. 2 basking bulbs recommended on any, I almost gave away some of the species, recommended on, I don't know how to say it, guys. I like 2 basking bulbs. I also took the heater, the water heater. It's an actual aquarium heater, but I use it for small water features. I took that from the Australian water dragon enclosure since I really didn't need to heat that up anymore. And I put it, I just saw showing you where it's running to. You might think I'm showing you something random, but I put it in here to heat this up. It was recommended To keep this at maybe high 70s water temp, this should be pretty easy to keep heated. It's gonna probably, I mean, that's a 10-gallon water heater. Keeping a couple inches, just enough to cover the surface of that since it needs to be covered. That should be definitely within the range to heat that water up. Should be really good, and that's going to work perfectly in there. Now, John, what about drainage, you may say? There's going to be a lot of water. You need to change that. Are you going to turn it upside down and take everything out just to drain it? No, I'm doing exactly what I did with RuPaul's Enclosure, except it's now on the bottom. I have a 1/4 inch, I believe. I have to double check that. Uniseal with a flow valve. Not really picking up well on this camera, and then some airline tubing right here, and that'll drain it daily. The only thing I probably will need to address is I'll have to make that bigger, put in a bigger Uniseal and a bigger tube. I don't know what tube I can use, because I didn't count for waste being in the water or sheds, and you know, I'm gonna need to clean that up too, not just drain the water. So, you know, as this guy gets bigger, I'll probably have to take him out, drill a bigger sized hole in there, and adapt that to his, I don't know, growth rate or whatever you want to call it. But hey guys, what enclosure have we ever set up that was completely right on the first time? I am totally ready and willing to make adjustments as they come as this little guy, especially their personalities. They all have their own personalities. A lot of people don't give reptiles that amount of credit, but they do certain things that we have to make adjustments for in the enclosure. So I gotta be on top of that, and you know, there's gonna be plenty of things I'm sure I'm gonna be moving. So where does that leave us, guys? Well, we need to humidity proof the lid, and that's going to be a very fun thing to do because we have a very unique lid here. We have some sort of crossbar to give some support to it, but what that does, I believe I might have mentioned it already, is it lifts the lighting off of the screen lid a little bit. So if I put some saran wrap on here, it's not going to really hold the humidity in that well because there's going to be gaps and such. Sorry, I almost fell off my step ladder. So I talked to Mike, who I got the Reptile from, the breeder. That's the only hint you're gonna get, and he gave me some tips on that. So I will be doing that before the Reptile arrives. Additionally, I'm gonna go ahead and probably tape some paper around some of the sides here to give a little bit more privacy. Maybe the back, I don't know, I might not need the back because it's kind of just a wall behind there. I will probably be at least doing there, and then maybe doing right here. So this one could be comfortably out in the water and not have to really worry about something moving around scaring him away. I want to encourage this one to go for a little bit of a swim, so might give that protection there. Over here, I mean, I already got that barrier between the baby Ackies right there and this Reptile, so that works perfectly. You know what, before I wrap up here, I should go ahead and check out my UV readings on my solar meter. You can see right now we're in the low 3s. But let's see what we get as we go up towards the basking area, which I had to turn off to pick this up. We're hitting into the higher 5s. Now do note when you get away from directly underneath the bulb, you do have to angle it to angle this reading right there to meet where the light is. So that's why I'm angling it inwards. Up here, down here, it's getting into the mid 5s, 5.5. I like to go off of the sunbeam method, which lets you go beyond their Ferguson zone. 5.5 is above this reptile's Ferguson zone, so it really shouldn't be that high, but with this method, it's okay to go a little beyond. So I'm pretty okay with this. Maybe I want to lessen it a little bit, but I think I should be fine, especially up here. This is the basking zone when that light's on, and that's about 3, which is perfect. Anyway, guys, that's what the initial closure is going to look like. It's pretty weird, pretty odd, pretty basic, but trust me, it's going to be really good for this lizard. And come on, guys, we all knew it was a lizard. I mean, I'll get a snake, but pretty sure we are on the same page here. Anyway, it looks really interesting, and you guys probably will not be able to guess it off of this enclosure alone because it does not match up with this species whatsoever. Idea-wise, in terms of what it actually does, but not what you expect, I guess. Anyway, it's a dream reptile. I gave you various hints throughout the video. If you go back some videos, you'll probably find even more clarification that will give you a pretty ready answer to this. But for now, I'm hanging out. Look forward to that unboxing next week, then maybe Aquanaland the following week. It's grand opening. Might head down there. Right now, though, hanging out with my man BDA, just chilling. Finally warm out, and we're enjoying it. All right, guys. See ya.